I think Chris makes a great point there. Once they have fully investigated what FTX did, at this point it looks like a whole lot of what they were doing has been illegal for a long time, perhaps centuries. Straight embezzlement, fraud, misuse of depositor money. So we certainly don't want to use FTX as sort of an excuse to go after things that are tangentially related. Bernie Madoff, who before Sam Bankman-Fried was the champion Ponzi scammer in the US for the past couple of decades, his instrument was equities and penny stocks. Is this an indictment of the equity markets? No, it was his excuse. If he didn't have that, he would have used something else. Who knows, maybe fine art. So I do think that we want to be very careful here, and we want to actually figure out what happened with the FTX. If they were committing grotesque fraud, why did existing regulators using existing laws against fraud not catch it? Are they perhaps distracted because they're exploring new regulation rather than sticking to their knitting? I completely agree with the commissioner. This is a broader issue for any regulation or any legislation, is that if you try to make the world perfectly safe, you'll end up destroying many more things. And so, right, regulators definitely have to look at the trade-offs throughout. Particularly when something bad happens, right? When you have an event such as FTX, there is an instinct that regulators and legislators have, right? They're asked by the media, why didn't you prevent this? There's sort of a tendency to feel that you have to be doing something about it. And in those cases, it's very important to keep in mind exactly the trade-off. If you try to make the world perfectly safe, you will, particularly in financial markets, you will effectively kill them. That's a great point. I was also going to add that we do this generally in all countries, right? There are different levels of guarantee depending on the asset involved. If we take the U.S., for example, in the 2008 financial crisis, bank distress was treated one way. On the other hand, something like a third of hedge funds went under early in the financial crisis, and they were not bailed out. That's a wonderful thing. It was judged that hedge fund investors and managers did not need to be bailed out. They can suffer their own slings and arrows. And indeed, that's also been the case with crypto. So with FTX going under, I have seen no significant voice calling for bailout of FTX investors. Nobody cares about crypto bros. That is as it should be. However, we want to sort of ring fence which investments we do, sort of from a public policy perspective, inevitably need to care about. So widows and orphans, bank holdings. And then on the other hand, right, we want to make it very explicit that, look, here is caveat emptor, but if you go down alone. Thank you. Yeah, CBDCs are very topical at the moment. Before FTX, they were sort of the main crypto discussion in Washington, unfortunately. Indeed, all of the benefits that you get from a CBDC, right? So what is a CBDC? For those who don't know, this is essentially a stable coin, which is a type of cryptocurrency that is worth, let's say, $1. It's always supposed to be worth $1. So the idea is that people can use it online instead of actual US dollars. And of course, almost all cryptocurrencies are US dollars, but there are others in euro and yen, and there could theoretically be stable coins and other currencies. And so the idea of a CBDC is that the government runs the stable coin. Generally, there are benefits to stable coins. Indeed, most crypto transactions now occur by stable coins because they're much more intuitive for people. They don't fluctuate in value. People feel a lot safer using them. However, right, I would argue that a government-run stablecoin introduces enormous risks to zero benefit whatsoever. Normally these sort of benefits promoted are lower transaction costs, reaching the unbanked, people who do not have exposure or access to the financial markets, and then theoretically raising the international use of the dollar. Basically, China has one, so we need one too. These are generally the three arguments that I've seen in favor of government-run stablecoins. And in all three cases, they're false. In the first two cases, lower transaction costs and reaching unbanked people You get those from stablecoins themselves. Stablecoins have extraordinarily low transaction costs, nearly zero in fact, which means that they're much cheaper than using a credit card or a debit card or anything else, right? So one could imagine stablecoins replacing, for example, Visa. They actually do a better job of them. And assuming that they have sufficient collateral, which we've been discussing on this panel, they could theoretically be just as safe. But at the same time, so far the versions of CBDCs that have come out have tended to have an ability to surveil and control personal use of these coins, right? And so that, beyond the dystopian nightmare of having a China-style, bureaucrats telling you what you can and can't spend, perhaps forcing you to spend in time for the next election so it looks good for the numbers, this is very concerning to people, but of course that also undermines the financial access argument for CBDCs, right? So, many people who do not have bank accounts are they're concerned about the government, or perhaps they have aspects of their lives that they'd rather not be documented. Right, I would actually bring that down. And then the final point is just the international use of the dollar, so-called dollar dominance. Internationally, about 60% of transactions, give or take, are currently in the US dollar. In the case of stablecoins, it's 99.85%. Almost every stablecoin in existence, and keep in mind so far it's been free market, so this is the market choosing this. They're almost all in dollar. Why? Because the economies of scale in U.S. Financial markets, the size of the U.S. economy, means you have a winner-take-all. So if the U.S. specifically would like to enforce international use of the dollar, far from introducing a government stablecoin, it would actually come out and promise, I will never ever, promise, I swear, we will never have a stablecoin. Therefore, developers can invest, right? They can build market share. They can invest in these technologies knowing that we're never going to come after them. And I mean, aside from that, I think actually Commissioner Pierce may also have thoughts on stablecoins. Personally, I'm very concerned, setting aside the cost benefits, that they may undermine the commercial banking sector in general. The Senator had spoken earlier about retail versus wholesale coins. I think that is a very difficult distinction to maintain in reality. Once a CBDC exists, it becomes relatively easy to make that a direct type of stablecoin. That would be a type of stablecoin that would essentially destroy commercial banking and would actually move us closer to a Soviet-style government allocation of capital. Under the Soviets, it was called Gosplan. It may not be a near-term risk, but to me, there are existential risks involved in doing a government stablecoin when we already have fantastic and well-functioning stablecoins in existence, if they are sufficiently collateralized.